All right, I'm live. Well, Merry Christmas out there, YouTube world. This is Federal Prison Talk. And tonight I'm going to be talking about Christmas in prison, what it's like, what you can expect if you're going to prison. I know a lot of people watch this channel that are on federal pretrial, awaiting sentencing, which could take years. Took me 4 years to get sentenced. And during those 4 years, I went crazy, not knowing if I'm getting probation, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. Your lawyers and prosecutors will throw different figures at you. And all in the meantime, they let, in the federal system, nonviolent criminals, white collar criminals, drug dealers, anything kind of nonviolent, we get to stay home while we fight our case on pretrial. And there's a whole bunch of different steps, preliminary hearings and pre-sentence hearings and plea deals and all the stuff that goes on every 3-4 months. You're going back to court, that it's delayed here, it's delayed there, and finally you get sentenced. And most of us get to turn ourselves in. Now, there's other kinds of federal cases where people are locked up the whole time in a county jail or a federal detention center. And those are usually the violent criminals, bank robberies, and things using guns and terrorist acts, and the violent crimes, rapists and murderers, and all those kinds of people. And I don't really talk too much about those kinds of criminals because I decided to do a prison channel about the nonviolent criminals, white collar, blue collar, drug dealer, run-of-the-mill Joes going to prison. Not a lot of information out there for us people. I went to a prison camp. So you got 4 levels in the federal prison system. You got your camp or satellite camp or minimum security. It's all 3 of those mean camps. Then there's your low security prisons or lows. Then there's your mediums or your FCIs. And then you have your penitentiaries. And above that, there's the ADX Supermax, where like the Unabomber and El Chapo and all those guys are. So there's 4 levels. And I went to the lowest level, a camp. Not a lot of information out there on camps for people. So I put this channel together, maybe help you guys out while you're going through your pretrial sentencing. It was 4 years for me. Some guys get lucky and they get it all done in a year. Rarely does somebody get indicted and sentenced all within 6 months. But even that happens. Even though that's 6 months, you're still going crazy. I got some people in the room, it looks like. Let me say hi. I got Daisha Touchstone. Let's see what you got to say. Hey, you told me not to give up no matter what. But it's been months of no contact. Should I take a hint? Am I a fool? I told you not to give up. I always say that to people. Don't give up no matter what. But it's been months of no contact. Months of no contact from who now? Fill me, refresh my memory when you say months of no contact. Refresh my memory. I'm sorry. I don't remember exactly what that means. TJ says Merry Christmas. And Merry Christmas to you, TJ. And Merry Christmas Eve. But I want to get back to Daisha. And thank you, because I always tell people, don't give up no matter what, man. If you're facing prison time, your life's not over. You're going to get through it. If you're watching this channel and you're facing prison time, you're probably not doing more than 10 years or 5 years. The kind of people that watch, that go to low securities, I had a couple people talk to me that are facing 20 years. And usually they narrow it down to maybe 10 years. That's why I say don't give up. Now, if you're facing a life sentence, you're probably not free to watch this channel. Even then, don't give up. You can have a life inside of prison, believe it or not, and you can help others, and you can, make peace with God while you're doing your life sentence in prison, and you can actually make a life for yourself, even on a life sentence. But that's not the topic today. Let's see. She says, from my significant. Oh, okay. Yeah. No contact, huh? And it's been months. So, I mean, have you tried? I kind of remember you haven't heard what's going on with your significant other. Do you know where they are? Let's see here. She says it's 12 to 15 years for him. He says he wouldn't be mad if I didn't wait. Yeah, I'm going to tell you this. Most people that get a 5-year sentence or more lose their wife or their husband while they're in prison. Most. I had a cell. He did 8 years. His wife stuck with him, but he worked hard calling her. He had money to call her every day and write her, and she visited, and he just never. He stuck to that love for his wife, and she waited for him. Now, out of the 8 years, he got out in 5. That's rare. I mean, this guy really worked hard to keep the relationship going. Every phone call he made to her, he didn't tell her what to do. He listened to her. He tried to understand you can't run a household while you're in prison. You know how many guys are on that phone yelling and screaming at their wives and their kids and trying to tell them what to do and how to do, and you better do this for me and run your life. You know, it's you got to laugh. Here's a guy trying to run his household from a prison payphone. It's not going to work. But these your husbands, your wives, they have a life too while you're in there, and they're dealing with so much stress that you're in prison, and they're trying to keep the family together and pay the rent and pay the bills, put money on your books, write you a letter, hold down a job, do all these things that you guys used to do together. Now they're stuck doing it all by themselves, and along comes the tall, handsome stranger or the good-looking woman, and one thing leads to another. And you get a Dear John letter or a Dear John phone call, or, it could be worse. Sometimes they cut you off altogether and you can't contact your wife or your husband. And it happens. In the case of Daisha, 12 to 15 years for him. He says wouldn't be mad if I didn't wait. Yeah, I hate to think he's already given up. So don't you give up. If you both give up, then they win. You know what I mean? Don't let them win. Oh, I just see this here. TJ with the super sticker. TJ, God bless you. Merry Christmas to you, TJ, with a $10 super sticker. TJ, Merry Christmas. And I know me and TJ talk on the phone a bunch of times. And wow, thank you, TJ. Let's be honest, 12 to 15 years is hard to wait for someone. You probably should move on. Yeah, TJ's kind of right. Although I hate to say that. Move on. But sometimes, life's a journey, and sometimes we got to do that. It sounds like he's already accepted it, so maybe you need to accept it. And I don't know all the details. And love is a strong. Love can be the strongest bond in the world. If it's real, does love last forever? Sometimes, if you love them, you got to set them free. Have you heard that one? You know what I mean? So there's that too to take in consideration. Hey, Matthew's in the room. Merry Christmas, Sean, and everyone. Merry Christmas to you, Matthew. She says, bless you and thank you. Guys, I want to read you a letter. You guys know what CORRESPONDENCE is, right? So that's the email system the inmates use from the prison. So I got a couple emails from people, but I wrote a letter back to all my inmates. They've all been on this channel. They've all done interviews. I'm going to read you the letter I wrote. I think it's an inspiring email for them. I wrote them all a Christmas letter. I'm going to show you here. Let me share this on here. So I wrote them all this. I want to share it with you guys. Let me know what you think about this. Okay. This is what I wrote on the core links. Okay. So I wrote it to Otis, to Al, to Bruno, another Al, Gavin. Yeah, the other guys are already getting ready to come home. But here's what I wrote to them. Merry Christmas. I want to wish you a Merry Christmas. I know it's not easy spending Christmas in prison. Being away from your family can get inside your head. Even if your family comes to visit you, it can get in your head more during the holidays. I took life for granted before I went to prison, and holidays never meant too much to me before prison. Now I cherish every waking moment. So try and use this time to reflect on your life and the meaning of your life. Your life means something to me because you have given me a purpose when you call me or email me or left comments on my YouTube channel. I am no longer alone on this planet because of you allowing me to help you, which gives me reason to keep going and never give up, no matter how old we get or what crimes we did in our past. Each and every one of us deserve one more chance. Yes, life gives us lots of chances and we make lots of mistakes. That's what makes us human. So, one more chance. This time, maybe we get it right. Prison can give you that chance. Use your time well spent and wisely. Prison can be a gift to reflect. Merry Christmas. So I don't know what you guys think of that, but that's what I wrote to those guys. And hopefully that inspires them. The fact that somebody is thinking about you while you're in prison, an email, a letter, a Christmas card. So they sell Christmas cards in the commissary. And, I had a pretty big contact list when I went in there because on pretrial, I was able to make amends to family members and get them kind of back in my corner enough to give me a chance to have that second chance. And now I have like a bunch of cousins and my aunt and stuff, everybody on my dad's side. And they wrote me letters and I sent them Christmas cards, and I was able to get a contact list together. Some of it were drug counselors from drug programs that I wrote letters and they wrote me letters back. I had friends in Alcoholics Anonymous that helped me through pretrial, even though I kept relapsing and stuff. They were there for me. I finally got it right when I got to prison, and I had a few friends that had stuck with me. Nick out there, if you ever watch the channel, I know Nick's in Colorado. So, I got to stay with Nick for a few days before I turned myself into prison. And Nick's wife drove me to prison in the morning. Nick had to work that day, so he couldn't drive me. But Nick was there for me, and we still talk. You know what I mean? And, so my cousins out there, Michael, David, and Joey, and my brother Patrick, you guys all watch my channel now and then. And so, all these people that I have in my life right now, all because I went to prison and did positive things while I was in there. I did positive things while I was in prison. I took every possible class and program you could think of, right? I got into the music room and I got 4 guys together and we had a little band going and we would play songs and we had microphones and drums and guitars and man, we had fun, man. You can actually have fun in prison. The hard times comes during these holidays. Christmas, you're away from your family. Some people, your family comes to visit you, and that hurts worse because while you're in there visiting with them all day, and then they got to leave, and you don't get to go with them, and it really sinks in that you don't get to go with them. You know what I mean? It can be hard for guys during the holidays. The prison does its best to make it Christmassy. There'll be a Christmas tree in the lobby of every building that you live in. There'll be Christmas wreaths and things like that put up. They give you a Christmas bag full of goodies every year. And I talked to Audrey. She said they're getting one. She's over at Alderson Camp. Bruno's in Florence. They're getting their Christmas bags. Who else told me? Just talked to somebody else in prison. God, was it Otis? Yeah, he's getting his Christmas bag. So people are getting their Christmas bags, at least in the camps and the lows. And it's a bag the size of a pillowcase. And it has, candy bars and cookies and snacks. And they might put a scarf and a T-shirt and maybe some shower shoes in there and just all kinds of little knickknacks. Some of it's donations from the community. Other ones, it's kind of leftover things from the commissary that they put aside throughout the year to fill up these Christmas bags. And, coffee will be in there. Hot chocolate will be in there. All kinds of Christmas types of candies and cakes. And it's a pretty big bag. And people like to trade them. And, like me, I don't want these nuts, but I want your chocolate bar. And, so we go around and we trade it all in and we get what we want. Let me get back to some of these comments here for a minute. Let's see here. Well, we got somebody from Russia whom spam. I don't know if that's spam or not. Still waiting to be sentenced. Christmas has stalled it. Yeah, the feds kind of shut down during the holidays. They do. They don't do nothing until after New Year's. Any word on if you will be in a medical prison, TJ? Oh, yeah. Well, I don't know. Not yet. Still have to be sentenced. He's waiting. Good luck. I like that you guys are getting to know each other, community. Sean, during Christmas, how good of a distraction is a nice meal and gift bags on Christmas? Are people able to block it out and relax a bit? Yes, they are. You know what? Some of the best meals are at Christmas, and not just the meal itself. So it's the sitting at the tables, especially at a camp. Because at a camp in the chow hall, the dining room, I could sit with the black guys. I sat with the Samoan guys once because I had a buddy who was Samoan from San Francisco. I sat at the Muslim table once with Salty. You know what I mean? Because I was invited as a guest. You kind of got to be invited. Don't just walk over there. White guys sit with a bunch of blacks. If you're invited, and nobody trips. But, normally I stayed on the white side. There's some politics in there. But they're like, they're not, nobody's going to get on you. But so it's that meal sitting down with all your friends. And some of your guys are thinking, I'm not going to make any friends when I go to prison. That's a great attitude to have in life. Do you know that? You're going to go far. Look, you're going to make friends whether you like it or not. Okay. It might only be one person that you talk to, but there's nothing wrong with making friends in prison. Just think, you're not a bad guy, so you think. So the other guy might not be a bad guy either. You know what I mean? And even if you are bad guys, why can't two bad guys be friends? It takes away the loneliness. Now, I'm not saying be the life of the party and try to, make 100 friends while you're in prison. No, you're going to have a core little group. But then you're going to have these acquaintances that and the faces that are familiar, guys you say hi to when you're passing by, and a couple words here and there. And you know what I mean? Oh, I heard you got, your halfway house time right on, man. Hey, I heard your out dates next year. And you maybe you don't say a word for them to 6 months, but you get familiar with everybody in there. And when you're all sitting down at the table on Christmas Eve, so the three big meals for this time of the year are Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and New Year's Day. The big meals are at lunchtime, okay? Not dinner, because they're going to give you a sack lunch for dinner, but that sack lunch is going to be hefty, man. So I'll go over for Christmas Eve. Our prison camp did roast beef, and on Christmas Day we're going to get turkey and ham. But tonight, being Christmas Eve, so we got roast beef, real slices of roast beef, pretty big. I'm going to say a good 6 to 8 ounce slice of roast beef. All right. And then we get, came with it probably today, maybe it was sweet potatoes or mashed potatoes and gravy. And then there'd be some like green bean vegetables, probably cornbread. You'd get pumpkin pie or pecan pie or apple pie, or sometimes you'd get 2 of those. And then there's this salad bar that's going to have all kinds of good stuff on it. Not just a salad. It's going to have maybe cream of potato soup. And the salad's going to have beets and cucumbers and, radishes and just all kinds of different vegetables to put on it. That's when they whip out the real ranch dressing and the blue cheese dressing if they have, or the balsamic vinaigrette, the creamy Caesar dressing they used to put out too. And then a bunch of leftovers. And that was Christmas Eve. And then they give you a sack lunch for dinner, but it'd be like a turkey sandwich, with chips and cookies and a whole bunch of stuff. And then they also let you make a plate at the salad bar or whatever, and you could take all this stuff home for dinner for Christmas Eve. Christmas Day gets better, but when you sit down at Christmas Eve, and all the tables are pretty close to each other, it's 4 guys to a table where I was at, but you could just feel it in the room. Everybody's eating this good food. We're sharing the holiday together. We're all going through it. Okay. We're either, we're all alone in prison, but we got each other. All right. Some guys don't get to do this because they're in the visiting room with their family and they actually miss out. So if you are going to go visit somebody in prison, maybe don't come during the mealtime. Just maybe a 2-hour visit, because the visiting could go for 8 hours. I think now they cut it down to 4 hours, maybe because of COVID. But I never had a visit, but I wouldn't want to sit with somebody for 8 hours. there's not much in those visiting rooms. It's plastic chairs with these little plastic tables, and you eat out of vending machines, which have maybe a chicken sandwich and a hamburger, like 7-Eleven kind of hamburgers and stuff out of the vending machine. And you do that, and you have your meal. And there's a coffee machine, and you talk about. But for 8 hours, I don't know what these guys do. What do you possibly talk about in a visiting room for 8 hours? And everybody can hear what you're saying. I think a couple-hour visit would be plenty for me. So I would say, maybe you visit them in the morning or after their meal, so that they can have the time to be in that dining room with all their prison friends and inmates and all that, and then they can get the best of both worlds. I'll see if there's any more comments here. Okay, we got some more comments. When I did state time, it was worse. When my wife came to visit, it actually made me feel worse. I had her come my last 18 months. I had her not come my last 18 months. It was easier. Yeah, TJ. See, I get that. Some guys tell their family, don't come during the holidays. You don't want to take that from your family, especially if you have kids, to drag kids all the way in federal prison. Sometimes you're going to another state to visit your loved one, and they got to get a motel at the Super 8 down the street, and it's Christmas Eve, and, and the kids want to be home at their, they got to go be drug in to visit their dad. Yeah, it is what it is, and the wife's, and it's vice versa. You got women in prison, and the husband's got to go through the same thing. And it's hard on the family member to go out there to the prison during the holidays too. It really is. They'd rather be home with you, and you'd rather be home with them. We get that. But I don't know if visiting during the holidays is the best thing. It makes everybody sad. Even when during the visit, you're going to, it's a sad time. It may be better you come after New Year's and visit them. You know what I mean? And save that money that it takes, because it costs a family money to go visit an inmate. They got to get a motel and pay for gas and, it can cost them, unless you live 20 minutes from a prison, and maybe it doesn't cost you, but that's usually not the case. See what Matt says. Good point on making friends, Sean. Blanket alienation of people helps no one. Yeah. Friends get you through it. They get you through it, man. So, in a camp, like my father died while I was in prison. And, guys came up and hugged me. Okay. We hugged, guys would hug me in prison. Yeah, no. I mean, we can get real, man. When a man cries because his dad dies, that's in a prison. I never cried in front of the guys, but I took the hugs. And I took the compassion that's there. You know what I mean? People understand, and other guys a guy's wife died while I was in prison. I gave him a big hug, man. Hey, whatever I can do, man, let me know. You need to talk, whatever, I'm here for you. And it's that kind of bonding that goes on. And that's that same kind of bonding during Christmas, that we did. Now there's a lot of, I shouldn't say this, but there's a lot of alcohol going on in the prisons during Christmas, all levels. The penitentiaries have been making their pruno for weeks. The camps have been running out to the road at night and stocking up on we'll just say it's more than eggnog. But yeah, there's a lot of alcohol going on in the camps, and a lot of drugs happen more during Christmas. And New Year's, there's a big party that goes on. And that's really all I want to say about it. Whatever floats your boat, you know what I mean? Me, I was doing the recovery thing, and I had enough of trust me, my party time was over, but I did like to watch, it was fun watching other people have fun, whatever it took for them to have the fun with. But also during Christmas Day, was Christmas Eve Day and Christmas Day, there's all these activities that the prison does. Like I sat in on these bingo games, and you'd win prizes. They had you'd get a case of what were they? Power bars. Yeah. So and you'd get 4 power bars if you won the bingo game, and the final bingo game you'd get a whole case. What else are they giving away? All snacks and cookies. But there was pool tournaments. We had pool tables. There was a bocce ball tournament. There was there was what else? Horseshoe tournament, spades tournament, pinnacle tournaments, all that kind of stuff. Board games. I think they had a Stratego, Life. What was the other one? Another board game they did. Trivia Pursuit games. And they were tournaments, and the prison would give you prizes. And so they did that all day. And there was a whole bunch of other tournaments, like for sports and stuff, like basketball stuff. And I forget what was going on, but there was all kinds of activities going on. Can't remember all of them. I remember. So one year, the band that I was in, we got to, on 4th of July and Labor Day, we got to put on a concert outside. And we got other bands to play too. So we brought all the equipment outside, and people driving by on the road could see us, and it was loud, and we had big speakers that you could hear, miles away. And so we had fun doing that. And they do a little Christmas. Some guys did a Christmas concert, I remember, in the visiting room for Christmas Day. And I don't know, prison just comes up with things, you know what I mean? And they try to do the best they can so you could have a good prison. Let's see what else we got here. TJ says, for some reason, I hated the weekends. I felt weekends went by slow, but the weekdays went by fairly fast. That was my experience anyways. Yeah, the weekends can go by slow, but I worked all week long, and I had the culinary school I did for a year. Then I did food service, and I was always over at the Supermax, and then I started RDAP, and I was doing both. Man, I was doing long days, and I would look forward to my weekends off. And then sometimes they went by too fast. Oh man, I didn't even get to relax. I had all these busy things I was doing, and the weekend went by too quick. And when you start thinking the day goes by too fast when you're in prison, maybe you're having too much fun. No, that's a good thing. You've adjusted, but you never give up, okay? Because everybody in a camp and a low, we have outdates. We know we're going home. We have a day. There's guys in prison that have no outdate, right? No outdate. Richard, hey, Richard. Merry Christmas to everyone. Merry Christmas to you, Richard. Seeley, thank you, Seeley, with the super sticker. God bless you. Merry Christmas, Seeley. God bless you guys. So what are you guys all doing for Christmas Eve tonight, man? I didn't think anybody would really come on here. It's Christmas Eve. But I'm glad you guys are here. Yeah, I'm glad you guys are here. So Merry Christmas. And so I'm going to come up and tell you guys about some Christmas ideas I have for you. That if you have people going to prison or you're going to prison. So I printed this up. It's free. It's a calendar, okay? And if you know anybody in prison or you're going to prison, these are valuable. You can't find these in prison. Now, some of the artists in prison will make calendars and sell them, but you don't have internet access in prison. You have email, but not internet. And calendars, nobody has a calendar. And I don't think the prison allows, unless Amazon has calendars they send out, you can't get a calendar. But you can send all the paper you want that's printed on the internet for free. At least in the camps, we're allowed to get that. And I know Audrey, she's that Fed Phoenix channel. She's called me a couple of times. She's at Alderson, and she wants a calendar. And I'm going to send her she's got a year to do. I'm going to send her a page with each month on it, and then one all combined with the year. And she's happy to get it. She says she really wants that. Even though, like I said, people can make calendars in there. But that's a great gift to send people. If you Google free printables for people in prison, all kinds of websites show up. Puzzle games and, crossword puzzles, all kinds of stuff. You can print it up and send it to them. You can also send pictures. If you're going to send them calendars, send some pictures of you or your family, or just pictures of whatever you think that they want to see. Their dog, I don't know, your house, maybe what your house looks like at Christmas. Maybe not. Maybe you don't want to rub that in, but you know what I mean. Send people. That's the best thing. It's something they can hold and touch. is always good for people. Hey, Matt. Oh, Matt sent me a $5 Venmo. Let's see. I heard my phone. God bless you, Matt. I guess it's Christmas. Yeah, I heard it. I got it right here, Matt. Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Matt. God bless you, Matt. Merry Christmas to you guys. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much. Merry Christmas. See what TJ says here. Yeah, I refused to work, so that's probably why it went by slow. See, here's the thing, man. There's guys that want to get out of work while they're in prison. I don't know if it's lazy or they just are too good to work. They don't want to work. They feel I'm not going to 12 cents an hour, that's slave labor. I'm not going to let the government. I'm not going to be a slave for the government. Whatever your reasons are, I get it. And you have you want to refuse to work. There's ways out. If you have a bad back, sometimes they say, fine, we'll give you a desk job rolling silverware in the dining room. And so it backfires on you. But guys find ways out of work, or they get an orderly job and then they pay an inmate to do the work to clean an orderly like cleans the bathrooms. And maybe it's an hour a day job, and they'll pay an inmate to do that. They go, I'll give you $20 a month plus the money that plus the $18 a month they give me if you clean the bathroom for me every day. And some guys are broke and they love that. So they're going to get 20 from you plus the $18 a month that the BOP pays them. They're getting $40 a month, for an hour a day. And some guys love that. Guys find ways out of work. But now, how are you going to spend your time? Some guys spend it all on the weight pile. All they want to be weight pile. Walk the track, weight pile, and that's all they want to do. And they come out buffed, and that's great. And they pass the time. But some people don't really do the weight pile, but they don't want to work. The next thing you know, you find yourself without a program. I knew some of the white collar guys getting out of jobs for whatever reason, so they could take classes all day, so they could hang out at the law library, so they could write books, so they could do casework for them and other inmates, and they spent all their time at the law library, and to them, they were being productive, and they were right, and they were being productive, and they got out of work, but they found a way to make the time pass. So TJ, if you're not going to work, you got to find a way to make that time pass, whatever it's going to be. If it's working out with your mind or your body or your spirit, because there's other people that spend all day long in the chapel praying to their God and reading spiritual and religious books. And some people, there's even jobs in the chapel. There's chapel orderlies. You talk to the different chaplains and you can get really involved with the chaplain. You can stay busy in the chapel. Lots of stuff to do around religious things in prison. The chapels are usually pretty large rooms. They have different rooms next to them, and they have their own little book rooms and TV rooms. And so anyways, yeah, you can very, very much spend a lot of time in the chapel. Yeah, thank you, Matt. Yeah. Where was I trying to get to these? Sealy, I have no family. Has dinner with a friend. Well, I'm spending Christmas Eve alone right now. You guys are my family right now. I have cousins and aunts, but they're all back in California. If you don't know, I just moved to Albuquerque. Now, I could have went over a friend Tom's house, who I've done time with, and he lives about an hour and a half from here. But there's a winter storm going on where he lives, and I told him I'm gonna take a rain check. I heard the weather says, the news says that winds are going to be 80 miles an hour, 2 feet of snow, and I'm not going to drive in that. And I don't even know where I'm going. I've never been there. It's up in the mountains of New Mexico. No, I don't. I'm just gonna. I finally have my own place after 10 years of pretrial, prison, halfway house, and sober living house. So I finally have my own place. So I thought I'd just enjoy my Christmas Eve here. I got my Red Bull, and that's just no Christmas drinks. I have 362 days and a wake up till I get off federal probation. 362 days and a wake up. And then I could trade this Red Bull in for anything I want. But today, the hardest stuff I'm drinking is Red Bull. And that's just because I don't want to go back to prison, man. I don't want to go back to prison. I have a new probation officer now, guys. I just met her last week. And she even said she might come on this channel. Yeah, we're talking about my YouTube channel. Not right away, she said, but down the line, she might come on. She's got to ask permission. And then you guys could all ask her all the questions you want about probation. Or she's going to maybe try to find another probation officer. There's another lady, Teresa, that works for Federal Probation Outreach, who I've kind of gotten to know, and she has something to do with the job I've got, Wings for Life. We work with probation. They send us people to do community service and volunteer for where I'm at. And now we're helping the inmates come out with jobs and everything. And that's where I come in. And I will be on from time to time, kind of talking with probation as they send us fresh inmates to come and do work for Wings for Life. So yeah, I'm kind of like in between guy, and I might get her on the channel. They have to get permission, but I'd love to have a probation officer on here. You guys can all ask them questions. So I think I hit it off good with this new probation officer. I've been on probation for 2 years. We talked about how good I've done during the 2 years. No problems, no violations, no dirty drug tests or anything. And, of course, but, after the hour or two we talk, of course, it comes down to, here's the cup, fill it up. And, that's at the end of the day, it's all about the cup. I can blab, I can talk all I want, but that cup's got to be clean. And I understand in Albuquerque, that cup, they're also checking for alcohol now, and they go back 5 days. So Christmas Eve, New Year's, if you're out on, in Albuquerque on probation, don't drink, because I got a feeling, she's going to call me up after New Year's or Monday and have me do a random, but I'm going to be just Red Bull, guys. That's it. That's it. That's all you're getting from this guy. I've learned my lesson. Finally, I'm not going back to prison. Not going back today. I can't tell you what's going to happen tomorrow. All I can tell you is today I'm not fucking up. Today, I'm not going back to prison. Let's see where I got here. Got some more questions and stuff. Oh, good. I love this. Thank you, guys. Everything is shutting down in New Jersey. You don't say. Now you say everything. Are you guys getting ready to go back on lockdown 2.0? You mean like the restaurants and the stores and nobody allowed on the streets after 10 o'clock at night kind of thing? When you say everything, what is everything? So lockdown 2.0 in New Jersey, huh? TJ, I'm a veteran. I ain't working. I hear you, man. I hear you. Find something to do to pass the time, though, TJ. If it's read books, if it's watch TV all day, there's guys who do that. They, there's only so many chairs in the TV room, but they sell you a chair. I've seen guys come in there and they got a little money on their books, and their plan is to catch up on every episode of Friends. There was this guy. What was his name? Mike. And he come from the medium, worked his way down. And he had a chair, and he watched reruns of Friends. It was on like, I don't know, TNT or FX or something, because he said his girlfriend had a thing for Jennifer Aniston and went out of her way to even get plastic surgery and all this to look exactly like Jennifer Aniston. And she loved that TV show Friends. And he missed his girlfriend so much that he would watch that show thinking that was really his. I think he thought that was his girlfriend on Friends. It wasn't, and well, he was there, but anyways, he was just like infatuated, and he spent his whole prison time watching every episode of Friends. I mean, he's seen every season, 40, 50 times. He could recite every line, and that was his thing. So, he never. I mean, people get into all kinds of things in prison, man. Tell me I'm going to have a dog. Oh, you are going to have a dog. Okay. Seeley. Thank you, Seeley. I will make new friends in Albuquerque. I've already made a few. They're guys that I did time with that are still out here. And I told my PO about them, and she's kind of fine with it. She's going to run a name on a guy to make sure he's not a troublemaker. But one guy's already off probation, Tom. But I'm making a few friends, I'm going to take my time, choose them well. You know what I mean? My neighbors that are over here, I've said hello to them. It's an apartment building, and I've said hello to a few of them. But there's like these three guys hanging down at the end, and one guy he asked me for a ride so he could go get dosed the other day, and I told him I was going to another part of town, but because he wants, he wanted what's that stuff called when you're on heroin and you're getting the dose. Now I can't think of it. That stuff that they drink. God, I can't remember. Anyways, I'm not going to associate with those neighbors. They can do what they want, but so I got to be careful who I pick for friends. Love being alone in my own. I know what you mean, Sealy. I'm finally getting used to having my own place. It's nice. Yeah, I hear you, Sealy. Nothing like your own place. Yeah. Nothing like, I made banana muffins from scratch the other day. Tonight I made brownies. They're downstairs. I have a little 2-level. It's the bedroom's upstairs and the living room's downstairs. And I made brownies today, and they're cooling in the pan. When I'm done with this video, I'll go have another Red Bull and some brownies and get all sugared up. Gosh, see, me too. I'm alone even though I'm married. My wife knows I like to be alone sometimes. Yeah. Yeah, it would be cool to get. Yeah, I hear you, Matthew. And Richard says, yes, in Philadelphia, they closed 22 restaurants already. I'm going to have to go to YouTube and Google the Philly news and New Jersey and stuff. Is this new Omni Crown? What's it called? Omni Crown? The Omni thing. The Omni. I knew that word Omni. I'm already forgetting, but anyways, yeah. I seen this one coming. This we could do a whole show on the government, like in these this control over the population that they have with this virus. You know what I mean? Better alone. Alone is better than strife with the wrong people. You can say that again. For sure. Yeah. For sure. Let's see what else we got here. Richard says, it's ridiculous. They want to close schools down too. So who was it just called me? They're turning themselves into Florence, and he called the prison, and he's turning himself in like, I don't know, a couple weeks. And they told him he's got to do 21 days in the shoe. So I know when the last guy went in there was Bruno. He told me they let him straight to the camp. They stopped putting you in isolation and quarantine. I guess they're back now because he called the prison, and the person on the phone said, yeah, we're going to take you to the medium and lock you up in the shoe for 21 days, and then we'll let you go to the camp. The medium's behind me. Okay, and in front of me would be the camp. So this is a picture of Florence, the medium, the FCI, which is behind me. So when the camps don't have shoes, they don't have any holes in the camp, they'll send you to there's standalone camps that are all by themselves with no other prison. They must have a hole. But most camps don't have a shoe or a hole on their property. They'll send you to the low or the medium or something that's usually across the street from them. And I guess Florence is back putting people in quarantine again, until you get 2 negative shots and then 2 negative tests. And then they let you out on the camp. TJ says here, how about the DOJ says people don't have to return to prison after pandemic. If it's over, they can remain on home confinement. That was some good news. Yeah, TJ, I heard about that. I remember reading articles that all of these people who got out early on home confinement to do 3 years left on home confinement are going to have to go back and finish their last 2 years back in prison. And I guess now, I just heard that news too, TJ, that now they don't have to. They can finish their 2 years, their 4 years, or whatever on home confinement. Yeah. But, and now that this new virus is out, things are going to change all over again. So you guys facing sentencing, it's actually probably a good time, because when the virus is active and things are shutting down, you're better chance that you get home confinement or, less time in prison, and they send you out to halfway houses. The prisons do not want people to die while they're in there, and they don't want the publicity, although they hide it well. But they don't want the overcrowding and stuff. So it's probably a good time to get sentenced right now. There's no good time to get sentenced, trust me, but it's probably better than when everything was normal, when they could fill up. Because none of the prisons are full. I've been on the BOP website, and it looks like they're half full, most of them. Other than, take that back, the penitentiaries, yeah, those guys are full. But your lower levels are kind of half empty right now. So what else about Christmas in prison? So I told you about Christmas Eve meal. For Christmas Day, you're going to get, we got a half a pound of turkey, and it's wrapped in foil and baked. And then, and you'd get a mix of white meat and dark meat. If you wanted the leg or the drumstick, you could ask for it. They don't give you it. And then they give you ham, a half a pound of ham, baked ham, like with honey and brown sugar and cloves, and baked in the oven. Then you'd get mashed potatoes and gravy and stuffing and pumpkin pie and pecan pie, or apple pie and pecan pie, or pumpkin pie and apple pie. You had your choice of two, and you got a little ice cream cup. Just a little small cup, little Breyer's cup, vanilla ice cream. And then you got, then there was dinner rolls, butter, it was margarine, cornbread too, and dinner rolls. I remember there was both. And you could take all you want. And all that was on the salad bar, again with the salad. And I think there was vegetable soup maybe, which wasn't a bad vegetable soup. And they'd give you all these to-go things, plastic styrofoam containers, and you could fill them up. Plus, they gave you a sack lunch with more turkey sandwich or ham sandwiches in there, and potato chips and cookies, and all kinds of goodies in that bag, and milks and stuff, all to take with you, and the styrofoam containers. And the mashed potatoes and gravy and stuffing and everything was out on the salad bar, and the salad and the soup. And guys would just stack them trays. Those styrofoam, clamshells, right? Guys were stacking that up with the sack lunch, and then you sit down at the table. And so I traded my ham for more turkey. So then I had 2 foil packets of turkey. I ate one there, and I took one back. And I got dinner rolls and mashed potatoes and gravy and all that. And I took it back, and we have microwaves. And so later on that night, I made me a hot turkey sandwich with the turkey over the dinner rolls with the gravy and mashed potatoes and stuffing. And woo, man. And then I got to do it all again on New Year's Eve. The meals are meals are very, very, very good in prison, at least where I was. And they did a good job baking the turkey and baking the ham, and they seasoned it, and it was cooked just right. They did a really good job. Real mashed potatoes. Wasn't instant. The gravy was homemade from the drippings. They knew what they were doing. They did a good job. So guys eat very well during the holidays. Let's see, what do we got here? Oh yeah, we already read that. All righty. Well, I got some more questions for me, guys. What else can I talk about? What else goes on in prison? Poker games. Poker tables come out at night, man. A lot of guys want to gamble in there. So if you got the money, but people build up a debt and they get their ass beat. I've seen guys get just bloody faces that'll takes weeks to heal for owing gambling debts. This is also the time of year where people are feeling down on themselves, getting the blues and stuff. And the family members, this is the time of year where your family can actually, I told you, if you're doing a 5-year sentence or more, your wife or your husband will leave you. It usually happens right around this time. This is the breakup time. This is what gets them. And they'll come to see you for Christmas, and that's the last time you're ever going to see them, other than divorce court or something later on down the line or whatever. But yeah, this is the time they've had it. This is the last time they can't take it anymore. So that happens too. Matt says, do people get furloughs from camp at the holidays? Yeah. So furloughs, I did a whole video on that. My cellie, one of my cellies, Michael, and I'm not going to say his last name because I don't want to put him on blast because I talk to him every now and then. So he was a Jewish guy, and he had a lawyer on the outside, got him a religious furlough for a Jewish holiday. He got a 3-day weekend pass where his wife picked him up. It was some kind of Jewish holiday where they couldn't be around electricity for 24 hours, something like that. I can't remember the name of it. And so, but he got permission to go have his wife pick him up, and they stayed at a hotel for a couple of days, and they had to check in at the synagogue, and I guess he had to prove that he went to the synagogue, and he had to eat a special meal or something. But he had the furlough. I got links to how to get a furlough underneath all my videos. There's a link on there with an application for a furlough, but he had his lawyer help him. And every 6 months, you have a team meeting, TEAM, and it's something having to do with your time enlisted management program, something. It's basically your evaluation. You get a 6-month evaluation. Every 6 months, that's when you present the furlough application. And if it's approved, you'll be granted a furlough from anywhere from 1 to 7 days. And he had the furlough filled out top to bottom, exactly how to do it. Like I said, I have blank furlough applications underneath. There's a link underneath all my videos in the description. And I've never filled one out, but take a look at it. And if it's done right, they have to honor it. They have to honor it. So there's religious furloughs. There's social furloughs. There's like a death in the family furloughs. There's transfer furloughs. If you're going to transfer to another camp for whatever reason, sometimes you go because there's an RDAP there, and you get to go on your own to transfer. And I think there was one other kind of furlough. Can't remember what that one was. Work furloughs. Yeah, work furloughs. Some people actually get to go work their last 18 months. Maybe there's certain special work furloughs. Anyways, there's those. But the answer is yes. Goodbye, guys, and goodbye, TJ. Merry Christmas, and thank you again for the super sticker, TJ. Thank you, guys. Yeah, I'm probably going to keep this short and sweet, guys. Yeah, TJ gave me the super sticker. So it's going on an hour. Any more questions, guys? I think you want to know anything about Christmas in prison? Now's the time. Yeah, thank you, TJ, with the super sticker. You guys all have a great Merry Christmas. And give it 1 more minute for any questions, guys. Let me know. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. Hit the like button. Tell your friends. Email me. Leave comments. Call me. Whatever I can do to help you guys. I will do my best to help you. All right. Merry Christmas. Here, one more before I go. Mary, Nicole, Nikki.